Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I want to show you my June Plum plant. I'm bringing it inside I think a little bit early. Last year I left it outside to the end of September, and when I came out after work on the weekend, because I kept saying to myself on the weekend I will bring it in, and when I came outside on the weekend the leaves were all turning yellow. I quickly brought it inside into the sunroom, and a couple days later every single leaf on my June Plum plant had fallen off. So right now I'm preparing it a little bit early. I washed it down yesterday, hosed it down. I did give it the soil its first spray of neem oil. The bottom right there, I gave it its first spray. But June Plum is not a hard plant to grow. It fruits continuously and it fruits inside the house, so there's no problem with that. Last year, because I almost lost it, I put it into my grow tent to save it. But it took 3 weeks. I thought it was dead. I was just about ready to buy a new one to replace this one. And 3 weeks after I put it into the grow tent, I saw little buds of leaves. So of course, here it is. And look how big it is now. This thing was practically dead. This thing is huge compared to where it was last year. Believe it or not, it is huge. All these new stem that you've seen that happened in the summer, that happened over last winter, it's now a very big plant. I'm not quite sure how it will fit in the grow tent, because I want to put this in the grow tent along with my mango tree and my tangerine tree. So I'm going to see your tangerine tree. I'm going to see how that works. If it will work. My tent is only 3 by 3, but this is it. So first I sprayed it down. I sprayed it down twice, in the morning and in the evening last night, to make sure that I'm getting rid of any bugs. These plants are not really prone to bugs, but they do sometimes bring them in, so I made sure to wash it down. I've never had a problem with this plant. I've had it for 4 years now. It's my fourth winter I think I'm bringing this thing inside. But there it is. Okay, it's healthy. I took off all the yellow leaves because this type of plant does it's a deciduous plant, so the leaves do turn yellow, and if it's outside it's going to shed it, it's going to drop its leaf, and it does drop its leaves inside too, but not all of them like it did the end of last September. So this is it. So I think you should first wash down the plant or hose it down. Then I'm going to spray it with neem oil. And that is something I use on all of my plants, especially the tangerine, or is it mandarin? The tangerine and the lemon tree, because those two things, especially the lemon tree, or is it lime? One of them, guys. They bring in aphids with them. It's my lime tree. It brings in a lot of aphids with them. So this one, I don't know. It's just healthy. So I was shocked when it almost died last year, but that was on me because I left it outside and the temperature had dropped one night below 50. And this plant can't take anything below 60. So there it is. And it's getting cooled. Tomorrow night should be 60 and tonight should be 60, I think, too. So I am going to cover it because I'm trying to acclimate it from out of the sun to cooler temperatures inside where it doesn't have all that direct sun. But I do have an intense, I think it's 100 watt or 1500 watt value watt light bulb inside, grow light inside over it. So I'm going to see how that works. But it did work last winter because that was the first time I've actually put it in the grow tent. But that is it, and as you can see, it fruited here. It's very healthy. It fruited over here again, and if you can see back there, it fruited back there also. Those are covered by the leaves. But that's what this June plum is doing. And then it has the old one that fruited inside the tent early in the spring of this year, and there they are. I have 2 left. I've been eating them. So that's what we have here. And so just wash it down, hose it down, spray some neem oil on it, and make sure that you acclimate your fruit plant to go inside, and then just bring them in. But right now I'm trying to give it a couple days, because as you can see, if you look very carefully, closely, it's fruiting. It's actually fruiting again. So I'm going to have 3 different size fruits on this plant. So it has to go in before everything drops off. And last winter, all the fruits, all the leaves, they were sticks. And believe me when I'm telling you that it almost died. If you look inside, if you don't bring your fruit plants in at the right time, you see where I cut the stem off because the top part had died. And where is it? And down here, do you see down there where I cut? If you can see it closely, where I cut, I had to cut and cut and cut because the plant was dying. It was dying. I thought it was actually dead, but it's doing much, much better now. And as you can see here, when I cut that off too, all of that died. And so I had to cut the plant down about 1.5 feet before I got to live stem again. All that part had basically dried up. So that is that. So I'm going to treat it too. So what I do is this. I use the neem oil as the spray right here, but I actually had mixed this thing instead. The pure neem oil. I actually got, if I can turn it for you guys, I followed directions here. It has not affected my plants whatsoever, and it does say that does state that it's organic, so that is good. I use this one because this one is basically it's thick. Okay, it is, as they put it, cold pressed neem oil. I use that one. I mix it, follow the directions on the back, and I place it in this one. I have 2 of these. I have a new one of the neem oil, this version here, but that one is already downstairs. But I mix this one and it works perfectly, and it seemed to do the job. Works perfectly. And of course then I'm using this inside, the Tiger. This is the Tiger Bloom, the extra strength on the 284. I also did use fish emulsion, but I use a little of that because I'm afraid that when it goes in, it is going to go into shock. So I'm making sure that I cover all grounds with this fruit plant. But the June plum is my most sensitive plant, but I make sure the neem oil to spray, get any bugs off. I buy the condensed one, and then I mix the dilute, and of course I use my extra strength fertilizer. So when you're bringing your fruit plants in, your plants in from outdoors, try to treat them as much as possible. I try to use organic, but I don't use organic all the time, I will state. But especially, I use organic mostly on my fruit plants. On my other ornamental plants, I spray anything that is available or at a discount, or on discount I would say. But this is the plant, and I'm hoping that it will stay this way. It is out of the summer, the sun is coming back out. But I'm hoping it will stay this way when it goes inside. I'm going to see some yellow leaves, but if you look, it is quite healthy. Okay, it's also putting out branches, stems down there, but as you can see, it is big. If you step back from it, the sun is setting, I should say. If you step back, that's a huge plant, okay, compared to where it was last year. I have some pictures from last year of what happened to my plant. It was unbelievable. But this is it. So remember to hose it down to avoid those things. And believe me, you do not want bugs flying through your house. Those aphids, if they're in your house long enough, they basically grow wings because, you know, and they start to fly around. And so that is that. I've never seen aphids on this though. Okay, but I have seen them on my lime tree. Okay, so this is it. Make sure that you hose it down, that you treat the soil, to always treat that soil, because anything can be living in that soil. So make sure you treat the soil and then spray hose down the entire plant. I hosed it down twice yesterday. I treated the soil once yesterday. I'm going to treat the soil again. So when you're treating the soil, I actually spray it. So when I'm spraying it, I actually make sure, if you can see, it's on top, and then I let it settle. So what I do next is I actually stir the soil too, and then I spray again. And sometimes I actually remove half of the soil, and I try not to disturb the roots, remove half of the soil and add fresh soil on top. But since this plant had so much trouble last year, I'm going to leave the soil alone this year and just try to get as much, soak the soil with neem oil. Okay, but remember too that this type of plant, this fruit tree, does not like too much water. That's why I left it out here. So it's going to drain, and I'm going to do it again. But if you want to bring your fruit plants in, it's quite easy. Not well, you need time, I will say, but it's not as difficult, you know, especially if it grows tent. So you can grow fruits indoors, especially June plum, that which is, it's not native to Jamaica. It was brought over to Jamaica, but it grows all over Jamaica. And so I saw it online one day, and I couldn't believe what it said, June plum, and I ordered it, and I've been having June plum for the last 2.5 years. There they are. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Thank you. I'm going to see what I can do to bring my mango tree in and my lime tree, and I have an avocado, but that one struggles. So I'm going to see what's happening if I try to bring that one in. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye. Have a good one. If you like what you're seeing, do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, next week I will work, not even next week, a couple days from now, because it's getting cool. It's cool out here right now. I'm going to bring in and prepare the mango trees and my peppers and my other fruit trees to bring them inside. I winterize certain things. Most of my plants I have outside, except for my flowers. I bring them back in, as many as possible, put them in my grow tent. I have also too, you know, those plastic inside, those 4-tier, those 2-tier greenhouses. So I bring in as much as possible to get my plants indoors for the next spring and summer. Okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.